Alright guys, welcome to another episode. My name is JD and today we're over here at Monkeyland. Alright, they've been gracious enough to allow me to talk one or two of their guides, and on my left over here we've got Bennie. Now Bennie, they told me about you. They spoke about all the ranges, and you don't even have to look at the camera, you can look at me or the camera, it doesn't matter, you can look wherever.
Okay.
Like I said, it's very casual.
Okay.
So they gave me options of different ranges, and they spoke to me about you, and I said I really want to talk to you because you've got an interesting background story, I hear. But first of all, tell us who you are, where you're from, and just a little bit about yourself, maybe.
Okay, my name is Bennie, born and bred in KwaZulu-Natal.
All right.
As far as working is concerned, for the better part of my life, I've been actually a waiter. I'm a people's person. I like interacting with people. I like learning actually different diversity of cultural behaviors from different cultures from all over the world. So that's what draws me to most of the jobs that I do. I just like being with people. I just like interacting with people.
Good. That makes a brilliant guiding. If you like people, if you like cultures especially. Do you have a favorite culture, perhaps?
The favorite culture, which is definitely my own culture.
Your own culture?
Yeah.
And what is that?
That's the Zulu culture.
The Zulu culture, 100%. And, okay, let's say second favorite, because I think maybe everyone will always choose their own culture. So what's your second favorite culture?
My second actual favorite culture, I will say, is the Xhosa culture. Because
okay, so down here in the Western Cape.
That's very true, yeah.
All right. So that's where we are now, is in the Western Cape. So interesting you should choose that. Now, you like working with different people, different people or places, different people from different places. That's what you said. Now, obviously in the tour guide industry here, especially at Monkeyland, you get to see a lot of foreign tourism down here in the Eden Garden District.
Of course.
I mean, the majority of them mostly being German, but we've got Germans, we've got, well, Europeans in general, we've got the British, we've got the Australians, the New Zealanders, the Americans. Out of them, what do you think? Do you have a favorite, and why do you pick a favorite?
I really like all the people, but I'll say, due sometimes to language barriers, we have got difficulties, especially interacting with some people from some nations. But altogether, you speak slowly. Sometimes your facial expression shows everything.
You go like that.
Yeah, you will see even them when actually you're talking about, you see that they'll be just nodding here that, okay, they are understanding what actually you're trying to explain to them.
Yeah. Oh, it helps. I was speaking to a lady the other day, and she said, no, she's crazy also because not everyone understands her. And then she makes faces and she goes like this. I said, that's not crazy, that's normal. You're just a guide. And that's for us guides, it's normal. You do what you have to try and communicate with your clients and have them have a nice time and understand what you're saying. I understand that it's very difficult. In my experience, I found that mostly the Italians, they struggle with English, and the French often struggle with English. So those are the normal ones that I see. But I mean, there's some French people that speak better English than I do. So yeah. No, it's interesting you should say that. But what I want to talk about quickly, just for a little bit, is Monkeyland. All right. How did you get started at Monkeyland?
I would say I used to work as a waiter under the franchise Cape Town Fish Market. Due to the COVID influence,
Yeah.
so that industry was not viable anymore. So I had to opt out. After opting out, the next thing that I had to do, since I am a single parent that has got 3 kids that I take care of single-handedly, I had to look for something else. Yeah. So I had to swallow my pride. The next thing that was actually on offer was being a car washer, of which I did that job as a car washer. Here and there, it did manage to fill some voids that were supposed to be filled as a family man. Not knowing that being next to Monkeyland, doing that car wash, I was actually sitting next to a gold mine.
So you were doing car wash here in Monkeyland's area?
Yes, that's very true, by the Monkeyland car park.
Hectic. So it makes sense because there's a lot of tourists coming in and out the whole time.
Yes.
So you've got a constant flow of people. They're going to be here because Monkeyland birds have been right next to each other.
That's very
so
true.
People spend like 2-3 hours here maybe.
That's very true.
Okay, well, you got a sense for business then because you saw the opportunity, you took it.
That's true, yes.
All right. And then, okay, so you were a car washer, and then what happened?
I used to interact with the guys because I grew up in the village. I grew up herding cattle in the forest. Sometimes, all my school holidays, I would be just actually staying in the forest. Like we'll drive our cows, like say 30 kilometers away from our village. The reason being, looking for greener pastures for our cows. We'll go there, using branches, using plastics, we'll build what I would call a house that we use to stay in the forest. So as we stayed in the forest, we had actually direct interaction with actually the wild animals. So that actually drew my interest from an early age of wildlife. So the fact that when I was doing car wash next to Monkeyland, I actually used to hear the different vocalization. I used to ask the guys, are these monkeys or what? They told me it's monkeys, it's primates. Actually, they started to actually tell me about primates, which was a new word to me. So I was eager. This was the other way I managed to get hold of the handbook that they use. I just read it for an hour. I was just drawn into that. So that's all how it started.
Awesome. So then they basically incorporated, that's how they basically incorporated you, and then eventually brought you in as a guide.
Really, after that, as I started befriending myself with other guys, so I did ask them, how did you come to be in Monkeyland? They said, if you're interested, if ever they happen that maybe busy times or things like that, you may just try your lucky. You may actually hand over your CV right direct to the reception, which I did.
All right.
Patiently, as I handed actually the CV, which I didn't expect it to come actually the result to come actually immediately or soon. I was actually going home, which happens to be the actually Lara actually was going to Pets of Eden right across the car park. Is our car park, our car wash. We're doing it in between Pets of Eden and Monkeyland. She called me and said, I saw your CV.
Quickly, Laura is basically one of the owners of the company.
That's very true. Lara is basically actually one of the owners of Monkeyland.
Yes.
So she said she would like to give me the opportunity. That is, if I'm interested, I said, I'm 100% interested. Then that's when I got all the handbooks. Then I started reading in a short while. Then I started shadowing. Actually, shadowing is actually following actually the professional guys as they did their tours. Listening, learning how it's done. One tour after the other, one tour after the other, one tour after the other. Is I was busy also reading through the handbooks.
Yeah.
So I started actually being knowledgeable, even recognizing the different vocalizations coming from different primates. So for me, the behavior of the monkeys also is one thing that actually attracted me the most. I liked how they behave, always active, always up to something. You know, so I was just drawn to that. I developed a passion that I didn't even know where it came from. I just fell in love with monkeys. So I gave my all. Then I was given the chance that I follow the senior guide as they wanted to double check on which stage I am as far as my training is concerned.
Who's your senior guide? Albert or what?
Hamid.
Hamid, okay.
Yes, I followed Hamid. Then when we came out of the tour, he pointed one or two things that I was supposed to actually concentrate on, of which I did. That very same day, that's the day I started doing my own tour. Initially, I was given 2 guests as a pre-trial, of which I did it with flying colors. From there, it didn't stop, right till today.
That's awesome, man. And so that was during COVID. So you haven't been here very long, though. You've only been here maybe 2 years now?
Less than 2 years, about 1.5 years today.
Awesome. Well, you came highly recommended. I spoke to Laura herself, and she said, no, I can speak to you because she really likes you and likes your background story. So, yeah, that's awesome. And, I mean, you've come into the family here because that's how I understand. And when I spoke to Laura and your marketer as well, they say you're like a small little family and everyone's got their stories, like the whole
That's
group
rare.
of you guys.
Yeah.
But I really found interest in your story, and that's why I wanted to find out more about it. So awesome. So you've got a family, you've got 3 kids.
That's very true, yeah.
How old are they?
I've got 21, 15, and 11.
21 is not even a kid anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does a 21-year-old do now?
She's actually studying law.
Studying law.
Yeah.
Wow. Where is that?
That is in the Eastern Cape.
In
She's
the
staying.
Eastern
Yeah,
Cape?
she's staying with
And
my
you?
sister. Yes.
Very nice. Very nice. I had a friend study here as well. So awesome, man. That's great. And the others are in school here locally in Plet.
Unfortunately, they're all staying with my sisters.
Okay.
I would say it's actually the lucky part of actually my life. My sister happens to be parent. She doesn't have her own kids.
Oh.
So my wife passed on. Those happen to be both of our kids.
Okay.
So we do the co-parenting, me and my sister.
That's awesome, man. So you've.
And it happens that my sister also, she's a teacher, so they are in capable hands.
Awesome. That helps a lot because we were speaking to that friend of mine also. They have a kid, and sometimes because I've also got my own son. He's only 10 months old now. But even from a young age, it's always good to start teaching the kids and teaching them small little things. And sometimes, it's very common for us. You send the kids to the grandparents for a little while, go visit there. I know in some cultures they allow the kids to be raised by their grandparents, especially with the Zimbabweans and the Malawians. They allow the grandparents to raise the kids. And the thing is, sometimes you just want to play with the kid, right?
That's
But
right.
you need to also teach the kid. And that's very good. If your sister is an educator, that makes 100% sense because your one kid's already in university studying law,
That's
which
right.
is so hard. One of my best friends is in law. He's just finished recently and he's starting up his own firms and his own businesses now. But I know how long hours and how hard it was for him to actually get to that point. So yeah, good. That's a great industry. Now, tell me a bit more about Monkeyland. How big is this? Because that's one of the things I like about Monkeyland and Birds of Eden is there's no small enclosures. I know there is, in the rehabilitation centre you've got smaller enclosures, but the whole area is fenced in, and these monkeys can free roam. They can go for quite some distance without seeing a fence or encountering a fence. So how big is Monkeyland?
Okay, just to give you the account about Monkeyland. Monkeyland has been up and running for the past 24 years, meaning from 1998.
All right.
Also happens to be the world's first multi-species free-roaming primate sanctuary. All our primates, they're free-roaming. There's no barrier between us and the monkeys. There's no fence, if I'm saying no barrier. So the size of the forest is a 12-hectare forest.
12 hectares, that's massive.
Yes, housed also by a perimeter fence with electricity on top, meaning less predators for the primates that live in the Monkeyland forest. So in this 12-hectare forest, 9 different species we have. Only one is native, local, or indigenous to this forest. That when Monkeyland acquired this forest, that particular monkey was already living in this forest.
A velvet monkey.
That's the velvet monkey. The chicken-naughty one here, you can see that again. Then the rest of our primates were donated to Monkeyland. They were being kept as pets from zoos, laboratories, circuses, and people's swarms.
So they all used to be
Excuse.
mostly, because if you think people keep them in their homes, not everyone has a nice big yard, so they might want to keep it in a small enclosure or so on. So for them being out here, this is freedom at its best. And these are, like a lot of these monkeys are foreign monkeys, so the only local species of monkey we get here is the velvet.
That's the velvet monkey, yes.
And we also get baboons in the area. You don't have any baboons inside here.
Our baboons, we chase them away. Baboons, they don't make good friends with monkeys. Again, the other factor with baboons, anything they touch, they destroy.
That's it. 100%. There's a lot of problems down in Cape with them breaking into people's cars. And
That's very true.
We had it. There's a place that I love camping down in the Bavians Kloof. There's no signal, no running water, nothing. It's one of my favorite camping spots. So they also have baboons and monkeys in that area, obviously. And the baboons, they are so smart. They go into your car, and the rubberizing that's around the windows of the car, they pull that out because they're so strong. They pull that out, but they hold on to the window. They don't want the window to break because then you can hear the window breaking. You know something's happening. So they pull it out, throw the rubber down. They take the window, jump down, and they put the window down softly. They go in your car and steal your things in your car. So it shows you how clever they can be.
Yeah. Besides the cleverness, I would say that's why we in Monkeyland, we have got the no-feeding policy.
Yes.
Some of these incidents, they started developing the time we start feeding these baboons sitting inside our cars. That's when they start knowing that food comes from inside the car.
Yeah.
If nobody had ever fed a baboon sitting inside a car, they would never know that there's something that they can get inside the car.
They'd be scared of cars because cars drive.
That's very true, yeah. So that's why today we have got a no feeding policy. Like for instance, I can put it this way: you come, you take a banana out of your bag, you give it to a monkey. Somebody comes, takes an apple, gives it to a monkey. So those monkeys will develop a habit of knowing that, okay, people are carrying these bags have got food. What's the next thing they will do when you don't open your bag? They will try to open it forcefully from your bag. So that's why in Monkeyland we've got a policy of no feeding.
That's 100. I agree with that. That's great. Yeah, I mean, these monkeys, they free roaming. There's no fencing between you and them, so it could be a dangerous situation. But the thing is, animals in general are scared of humans. There's very few animals that will naturally attack humans. Crocodiles being one of them. Crocodiles see humans as food. They don't see you as a threat. But baboons, monkeys, even lions. Lions are actually scared of people, right? But we are scared of them because they're big and they're carnivorous.
That's true.
But once you understand the animal behavior, you realize that animals are scared of you. They don't want to come to you for any reason unless you feed them.
That's true.
Or unless maybe in some rare cases you get it where an animal's injured and they would seek attention and help. I've got my own company. I do meerkat tours, so we take people out into the field and we show them little meerkats. Now, between me and my dad and the guides and so on, we've been doing with this one family. We've been working with them all the way since 2008, 2008, and none of the meerkats has ever, and we're there almost every single day. None of those monkeys have come and meerkats want to come and touch us. They keep their distance. We're very close. We're about 5 meters. Sometimes we're very closer. If I'm there on my own and I go lie down, then they might come up to that far from me, but they don't touch me because they are scared of humans.
That's true. Yes.
So exactly what you said. Once you start feeding these animals, that is what then creates the problem. So yeah, it makes sense, and I'm glad you employ that rule here. So your feeding, it happens. You've got platforms, and you put the feed out there for the monkeys.
That's very true. We've got quite a number of them right through the forest that we feed 3 times a day.
3 times a day. What does their diet consist of?
Their diet consists of vegetables, fruits, oats balls, bread, millipap sometimes, semp as well, boiled eggs and boiled chicken.
All right. So they get a good mixture, because I mean that's what they would get in nature. Sometimes some of the species are active hunters.
That's true, yeah.
And then some of them forage for fruit and berries. Do you have any monkeys here that are only vegetarian, or do all of them eat a mixed diet?
Actually, the omnivores that we have, in this forest, we have got our own actually South African monkey, which is the vivid monkey. They eat basically almost anything. Then we've got one species.
Like
Then we've got one species that originates from Southeast and Central America, which are classified under New World monkeys, identifiable by having a semi-prehensile tail to full prehensile tail, which they use a 50 end. Those particular monkeys are called tufted capuchins, or brown hooded capuchins.
Very cute. Very naughty.
So they also happen to be omnivores.
Okay, yes.
So by actually putting boiled chicken is catering for them. In the forest, we've got pigeons that come looking for food. As much as we throw sunflower seeds on the ground and pellets, those pigeons, sometimes some of them, they don't make it alive. Coming looking for food, they end up being food themselves.
It's great. It's still, so we call it enrichment for the animals. They still have natural environment and they have a natural interaction. So some facilities where they keep animals in small enclosures, they have to actually mimic some of these things where if there's let's say they keep a lion, they have to throw in rope or food and then pull fight with the animal. Here you have it in a natural environment. You don't have to do anything really except feed the pigeons. And I mean, there's loads of pigeons around. No one's going to miss 1 or 2 of them.
That's right.
How many species of monkey you have here? Because you said this is
9 different species we have in the 12-hectare forest.
Awesome. So yeah, you've got so far you've mentioned capuchins. We've talked about vervet monkeys. I saw a howler monkey earlier on.
Yes, we do have howler monkeys.
What was there's a white one with black with white ears, or white with black ears? I can't remember.
Okay, that one actually, if I'm very right, that particular actually primate you're talking about doesn't fall under monkeys. It falls under prosimians, which are pre-monkeys, meaning they were there before monkeys.
Oh, wow.
They're actually indigenous to the island Madagascar.
Yeah.
They are called the black and white ruffed lemur.
Oh, no, it wasn't
Yeah.
the lemur. I know about the lemurs. No, this was a quite a big primate, I'd say.
So if that was bigger, then we're talking about the lakibon or white-handed gibbon.
Yeah.
Origin Southeast Asia. Also, that is not a monkey. It falls under the order of apes. That's an ape,
So it's got no
but we classify them under old world monkeys as well. Apes don't have tails, unlike monkeys. They use their arms to swing along.
Awesome. So, okay, judging by that, so if you say tail, no tail, ape, gibbon would fall under monkey. Because he's got a tail or not?
It doesn't have a tail.
The gibbons. Oh, sorry, not the gibbons. The, what am I thinking about?
Did you say the black and white rough lemur?
Okay, the lemurs, no. Lemurs, you already said, so they come
They are not
from-
monkeys. Yeah, they're pre-monkeys. They were there before monkeys. They are not monkeys.
Lemurs are the ones from Madagascar.
Yes, from the King Julian.
There we go. Awesome. All right.
So the other difference of actually monkeys from lemurs. Lemurs actually, if you look them from a closer range, you will see a cat-like face.
Yeah.
They've got pointed nose, wet noses like dogs and cats, which no monkey possesses those kind of features.
Okay, so you said claws and you said the pointed nose.
Wet noses as well.
Nose.
Yeah,
All right.
and a cat-like face.
Cat-like face.
Yes.
They've got a very skinny, like a long skinny
Yeah.
nose. Where your monkeys have a more like a rounded, or the apes have
Yeah,
a more
exactly.
rounded face. That makes sense. That's awesome. Okay, and out of all the monkeys you have in the park, do you have a favorite?
In a different way, I've got actually favorites.
Yeah.
As far as intelligent, cleverness, and being smart, the tufted capuchins or the brown-hooded capuchins are my favorite.
All right.
They've got human tendencies, they do improvise, they do use tools. Those are the very same monkeys that in Hollywood, they like training them and use them as actors in movies. If you watch the movie Pirates of the Caribbean, you watch the movie Hangover,
Yes.
those are the particular monkeys that they were used. Very smart indeed, I like them. But as far as calmness is concerned, I would prefer the ring-tailed lemur, which happens to be the national animal of Madagascar. Calm, cool, and collected lemurs, I like them a lot.
You can hear that in the background. I don't know if the mics will pick that up.
This sound that you're hearing like an ambulance siren is coming from the lakibon or white-handed gibbon. White-handed gibbon named after the white hens that actually are ape hairs. It has got a white ring around the face, white hands, and white feet.
Yeah,
So
that's
hence it's called a lakibon or white-handed gibbon, origin Southeast Asia.
So I used to live right, behind here there's that big ravine. And then I used to live on the other side where Lornu Snake Sanctuary is. I used to work there. When I was a small kid, I used to volunteer there. And 2012, I started working there full time. And that was the favorite because my house was situated on the edge of this cliff. And then you got the ravine. And then from my house, I could see the elephants walking up and down.
That was
I could
great,
hear
great for
this
you,
all
yeah.
the time. And when Taniko came in, I could hear the lions roar coming.
We sometimes hear them from here in Monkeyland.
That's very far away. That's like 7 kilometers away from here, probably. So that was, to me, it felt like I was living like Tarzan there. And so that sound travels so far. It's so loud. And I mean, to me, I love it. It's a natural sound. It's not noisy. To me, I mean, some people might say it's noisy, but to me, that's a very natural sound, and I love it. Now, I was here, so I've been here loads. I grew up in the area. I know Laura and them. But when I think one of my first trips ever here, I was small, and I was wearing a silver necklace chain, and there was an enclosure with the marmoset monkeys in it. I don't know if you still have an enclosure with them.
We do have them, but the mama says the push babies, you will find them by Beds of Eden.
Okay, so they moved over.
Yeah.
So yeah, back then the marmosets were in here, and I was just a little kid. I was probably 7, 8 years old, and I went closer and I said, "Hello, monkey." And he came and he liked my silver chain, and he pulled my chain.
Yeah, I would say it's actually shiny things, loose things, glasses. I've realized also that that's what actually the favorite monkeys, our local monkey targets.
Yeah.
They like grabbing those things sometimes from people. But anyway, fortunate enough, in Monkeyland, all our tours are carried tours. All our guides actually are familiar with the behavior of the monkeys. That's why all our tours are carried tours to protect and learn the guests about the primates that we have in the 12-hectare forest.
So you say you've got the guided tours, and the guides are there to obviously enforce and protect the clients. Not that there's much protecting, because these monkeys because there's no food involved between them and the humans, they never come up to the people really. But I remember I was here a couple of years ago. Now you've obviously got the seating, the waiting area over here. And it was so funny. I enjoyed it so much. Obviously, for me it was funny, but for the other people not. One of the monkeys had come down and the people had left the camera on the side and the monkey stole the camera and he was up in the tree and everyone was trying to get this monkey to drop the camera. And eventually did drop the camera and one of the guides was able to catch it and luckily give it back to the people. Do you have things like that happen? Because, I mean, monkeys are naughty little animals, right?
Yes, sometimes. As much as we do guided tours, our policies is no touching, no feeding, no playing with the monkeys. But people being people, you will find different people who will actually do the things in the way that, even when we say you're taking photos, you're allowed, we say try to maintain a distance of at least 1 meter to 2 meters. People with glasses sometimes, most of the times we give glass strings to give us a second chance if ever they try to grab. But still, some people, they don't maintain that distance. As much as they don't maintain that distance, you come to the cheeky ones, which are the favorite monkeys, they always try their luck.
Yeah, even when you're living in the area. So like I said, I live just across the ravine. And if I left the house, I had to close all the windows, all
Definitely.
the doors, everything.
Just make sure, otherwise you find your room a mess.
They're so naughty. And but they're also very clever. So we had the crocodiles there, and they really know, they can count the crocodiles because there was fruit tree in the crocodile enclosure. So you'd think, it's going to be awesome because the fruit's going to fall and the crocodile or the monkey's going to come for the fruit and the crocodile is going to eat him. Those monkeys, the vervet monkeys, were so smart. They would count 1, 2, 3 crocodiles.
Yeah.
Then they go in and they go get their fruit. If they only count 2 crocodiles,
They won't.
They won't go in. They know somewhere in the water there's a crocodile.
Still, yeah.
They were just too smart, and I don't think a crocodile ever was able to catch one of those monkeys.
Clever monkeys, yeah.
Because with those crocodiles, I did enrichment, where I would go into the enclosure with the food item, and I would have them grab it, and I would pull back and play with them a little bit, and that was very fun for me. I enjoy interactions with animals in as natural way as possible. Interaction does not mean you touch the animal for me.
That's very true.
It's just an encounter, experience that you have with them. And to me, with the crocodiles and the snakes we have at the sanctuary, everything, I would try and give them as much of a natural experience as possible. And like I said, that's one of the reasons why I love Monkeyland and I love Birds of Eden. Just quickly, you don't do guided tours in Birds of Eden, it's free roaming, right?
It's optionally.
Optional. Okay.
You may always request a guide. You may always go alone, depending on individuals. Also, but we do offer guides.
When I was there last, we didn't have guides, and I could just walk in, and I loved it. It's so nice to experience all these animals. And for people that don't know, your Birds of Eden, that's a 4-hectare enclosure, right?
That's true.
And it's tall. You can see birds flying.
Very tall, yeah.
Up there going across.
That's true. Yeah.
It is so
quite
nice.
A beautiful place.
Yeah. If you're just walking, you don't look up, you don't see the net. If you're just walking, you do not realize that you are
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So that's what I like. And the same with Monkeyland. If you go walk here, you don't really know that you're in an enclosed environment. You're in the jungle. You're just walking.
Unless maybe if a guide points to you that people just look through the trees, that's the perimeter fence that houses Monkeyland.
Yes, exactly.
Otherwise, as we're partaking our tours, doing our tours, some people, they end up, if you don't show them the fence. So, do these monkeys run away? I tell them, no, we've got actually perimeter fence housing Monkeyland. They say, oh, okay.
No, awesome. Now, quickly tell me a bit more about yourself. So you started, you said you first worked in the restaurant industry as a waiter.
Yeah.
Was that up in Natal or was it down here?
I worked in Cape Town.
In Cape Town itself?
Right, straight in the waterfront.
Hectic. I'm scared of Cape Town. I don't like big cities.
So yeah, since also actually moved out of Cape Town, I'm actually more relaxed here. Yeah, in actually Plated Pepe. It's more relaxed like actually in Cape Town. Cape Flats.
No, I don't go close.
That's something else.
I hate it. So I can go. I'm a field guide. You can put me in front of a rhino. You can put me in front of lions and elephants, and I'll be fine.
That's true.
When I'm driving in Cape Town, my back is sweating. Everything is sweating. I'm driving. I'm so scared. Because, I don't know, it's just too many people for me. I don't like it. I grew up on a farm. I grew up outside. So, to me, it's something funny, because who would think I'm scared of driving town in the city? It's not normal. So some people have these funny quirks and so on. Now, what would be considered one of your scariest moments in your life? It doesn't have to be tour related, but what would be one of your scariest moments in life?
Yeah, I lived in the Cape Flats in one place called Samora. So these thugs, they know that they were actually actual cars that deliver people right at night after work.
Yeah.
So they know that these cars, they deliver waiters. So
And waiters have tips.
waiters have got tips. Waiters will have a phone. So the first incident were in Nyanga. They blocked us one by one. We made to go out of that car. We're being searched. Our phones, our money was taken. I said, oh, okay, well, it's enough. Then second time, it was the festive season. I was so tired. So when I came, it was like festive season. It's actually much cooler. It's just like jumped on the bed. I just slept like that wearing the uniform. So I didn't actually switch off the light. So it happened that the curtain left a space that somebody from outside could see that somebody's sleeping. So they saw that, oh, he's sleeping. They tried to pull off the whole window pane off so that they come in. Lucky enough, I managed to wake up before they did that.
Yeah.
So I just made some noise, then I pushed the wardrobe against the window. I didn't sleep till morning. That's the time I left the Cape Flats. Then I went to stay in Milnerton.
Oh, no, it's scary out there. I remember, so we had a guy working with us at one point named Bola. Bola wasn't a very big man, but he was strong. He would take a big log, and you would need 3 people for. Bola would put it on his shoulder and he would walk with it. And I know they eventually started picking fights with Bola because Bola was so strong. First, it would be just one person picking a fight with him, and they fight with him, and he wins, always wins. Sometimes they stab him, he still wins. And he'd come to work because Bola used to only work on Sundays. He would be a relief worker for one of our other staff members. And Bola would have a stab wound here on her shoulder. I'm like, Bola, what happened? No, the guy that tried to fight me, and I won. And a while later again, Bola gets into a fight. And he says, no, it was 2 guys. Because he beat them as well. A year later or so, he said, no, 3 guys tried to fight him. He fought off all 3 guys. He says,
oh, wow.
He will not lose. Bola is very strong. So it's interesting how these things work. And yeah, the environments that we grew up in sometimes make us, and like you said, you were smart enough to move out of that environment. And like I said, I'm very impressed with you, with how you worked up. You were a waiter. You decided, okay, well, you were there, COVID came, you couldn't do that anymore. You made a plan, you came back here, and you started working with doing car wash. And I mean, a lot of us were put into funny situations where, especially during COVID, tourism got hit by COVID the worst. And we are still feeling the after effects now.
That's very true.
But I mean, I've got my own company, and during COVID, there was no tourists, so I had to go find another work. And we had to run our company from the side. Luckily, me and my father worked together, so he was able to still do the tours for me on the meerkats, and I had to go work on a farm. Now, I grew up on a farm, but I'm not a farmer.
Okay.
And I had to make a plan, and the guy said that he's got a hunting farm, and can I hunt? Now, I'm not a hunter. I can hunt and I can.
But you had to learn because of the situation.
I said, no, I can hunt. Don't worry, I'm good. And the guy took me in, and I became a hunter for him. And I always did a little bit extra because as a tour guide, you want to perform, you want to impress people.
That's very true.
You want to keep them happy. And I did that with the guiding, and the guy really liked me. He said, listen, he wants me permanently. So he offered me and my wife a permanent job there, which was awesome. And which was awesome. So we did that for COVID, and we only recently I quit because we are moving to New Zealand. And I told him, listen, I told him from the start that we will be moving. He said, it's fine. He's going to keep me as long as he can. And I told him, this is the year that I need to move. So we need to start looking for another farm manager for him. And together we worked on it, got a new farm manager. Me and the new farm manager still talk. Me and the boss, my old boss, still talk. I really like them. But it shows you how we have to evolve to get into, well, to survive. And that was the thing with COVID, is people that were able to think on their feet and
That's rare.
not just sit there like, oh, sorry, it's COVID.
This COVID, yeah.
You need to go out and do something.
I think in a way your story is actually almost similar like mine. As much as I started off by the car wash.
Yes.
When I started, yeah, I actually didn't work actually as a full-time guide. I used to be a relief guide.
Yes.
Somebody's sick, I had 2 days of my own. But if it happens somebody takes a leave or is sick, they'll just call me to fill up. But right now, I just kept my eyes on the ball. Right now, I'm also a full-time guide.
Right. Yeah, and what is your end goal? You say you found this passion in monkeys. Where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
I wish to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow.
Always.
Yes.
And that's the thing about any guide, is there's no limit. You're never going to know everything.
That's true, yes.
So you're always going to grow. All right. Now I see Monkeyland. You've got this. You can buy property per square meter now. Are you guys planning to expand the sanctuary?
We're definitely planning to that, so that we may be able to cater for more primates that are being rescued, that are coming from captivity.
Awesome.
You know, if you think of captivity, as we human beings, we don't like to be kept in captivity.
No.
Why would we keep the primates in captivity? So that's why we say ends of our primates. What a sanctuary like Monkeyland is promoting, let monkeys be monkeys. If you go into the forest, you see them playing, doing their monkey business, believe me not, you might spend the whole day there.
Yes.
You'll even forget that you are thirsty or you're hungry, just watching them play, jumping, doing their monkey business. So to me, it's like, wow, it's awesome.
No, it's great. And the behaviors that they exhibit, I always say animal behavior and human behavior, it's the same thing. We do the same thing, we just call it different names because, well, yeah, sometimes we don't want to be associated with animals, but we are just like animals. A lot of things we do are like animals.
That's true, yeah.
You guys, so you've got all the different species, 9 different species you said. Do they interact with each other in some ways?
Yeah, I would say they get along. The reason being, as much as in the forest we've got feeding tables that we feed 3 times a day, there's something that doesn't happen in the wild that only happens in a sanctuary like Monkeyland, where we find different species feeding from one table without a fight. And like in the wild, the resources are scarce. Resources is what actually causes fights. Because in the wild, whoever find food will territory mark, fight and defend jealously that place. So, in a way, in Monkeyland, it's much better than in the wild.
Well, my thing is always, so I have nothing about, I have no problems with people keeping an animal in captivity. My rules are always, all right, you're called into duty, my man.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, thank you for taking time to chat with us.
You're welcome.
I would have liked to chat a little bit longer, but I mean, duty calls. So off we go. I'm going to take some pictures and so on, and I'll speak to you guys a bit later on. I mean, it's been raining the whole day. You've got clients.
That's right.
It. Awesome, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Much appreciated, brother.
Enjoy your tour.
And you too.
Best of luck.
Cool.